Welcome back, everyone, to the comeback episode of the Bird's Eye View podcast. We have on today Brandon Haught, Nom Nom Ninja's owner. This one I loved. It was exciting to finally get back on the podcast and get going, and we have a great guy to, start us off with it. So I hope you guys enjoy. We got a fun one for you guys today, and starts off a little bit later because some mishaps with the camera. So if it kind of jumps in, just be ready for that. Anyways, guys, thank you for listening. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right. From the top?
No. No. We're not doing that. Sorry. This is kind of a pre-trial, so we're recording this based off of because if you guys don't know, Brandon, you have a podcast. If you want to shout that out real quick,
Well, I hope I answered your question too.
Absolutely.
We'll get back to that too.
But our podcast is the Entrepreneur Group, Entrepreneur Podcast. We do have a group, usually that's filled with entree, like a meal, so it's like Entrepreneur. It's targeting mainly like food trucks, restaurants, things like that inside of our group. And we just came up with this idea because we had a bunch of food trucks always reaching out to us individually, like, hey, how should I do this? Like, what do you guys do? How do you do your social media? How do you got so many followers? How do you book your gigs? Like, they would ask us all those what we now see as basic questions. And I'm like, man, we should be able to help a lot of people at once.
Yeah, and you can.
Yeah.
That's I don't know, that's not really why we did our podcast.
Yeah.
But that's why we also have people like you on, and who are inspired to get on is, people that can inform, but we can also make jokes with them.
Yeah, exactly.
And show that you're human
guys
too, just like everyone else, that's actually what we're planning on doing with the Michigan Made podcast too. Like once we get started with Vince is getting like kids seen, and it's kind of a reverse order. So like we're getting kids seen that don't really get seen.
Yeah.
So we want to have high schoolers on and like who don't get that exposure. And it's funny because Vince actually was like an NFL journalist, and he'd do like bigger, like higher names. And he would like interview these like higher profile athletes and show that, hey, they're actually human. These people are human just like you. But it's like the reverse now. Like it's gonna be the reverse for them. So it's gonna be super fun.
Yeah.
To watch that happen. So that's where we can relate in the podcast that we're doing with Vince, and obviously we want to make your podcast as good as it possibly can be too, and it's a fun collab for sure.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that collaboration, man. And like I said, you guys come from a different like in the food truck industry, like social media is not the strength. You know what I'm saying? For any of the trucks, to be honest with you, like there's a very few, like maybe the top 3% that understand social media. But really, I felt like I had a good grasp on it, and just getting to know you the last week or two, like I understand there's so much more opportunity than what I'm even taking advantage of, and that works for. That goes for our podcast, that goes for our business, that goes for everything, branding. So I'm really excited about our collaboration too, because I feel like there's a lot I can learn on that aspect.
Absolutely.
And part of growing business, man, is always learning. If you feel like you know of everything, you're gonna fail, man, or you're gonna stop growing. So you got to keep learning. So I appreciate the opportunity you guys have taken to set this up, do this, and give me some advice
fun.
too.
It's fun shit.
It is.
Absolutely. It's super fun if you can get good at it. And Devin, I don't know if you have anything to add on. I feel like you've been kind of sitting over there, kind of quiet over there, man.
What do you mean? I asked the question. And he answered the question.
And then we kind of veered off from that question because
No, we didn't. We capitalized on it.
Yeah, we did capitalize on it.
So, I'll go ahead, though.
Okay.
I do got something.
You go right ahead, man. You go right ahead.
No, and it would be – we always talk about this. It'd be awesome, like, in any way. I mean, this is mutual. We were just talking about this before it started, but – If we could have a chance or the opportunity to see you grow even more, I mean, that'd be awesome. That's exactly what we want to do. Like, we love to see people just take what they wanted and just blow it up even more. I mean, he's been on this road for what he's been trying to do for years and years and years, and it's now just coming together. So for the TikTok scene and the social media, I still think there's a whole nother platform for you and your business and what you created, and you earned it because you've talked about the grind, you've talked about the work. So I think that's something – especially with the TikTok that you start doing, that you're going to see a whole nother just crowd of people come in from that, especially the younger generation, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So.
And I feel like, well, actually a question I had to ask you was, like when you were like starting out your business, right? Did you have anybody, like, I don't know where you came up from, right? Or how, like, everything proceeded to get to where you are now, right?
Yeah.
And I guess what interests me, because like I'm just thinking about my own backstory here and seeing where you came from, you know, like was there anybody help you? Because I have like, you know, a few people who just like, I mean, Devin's a huge example. Like he was just always like the one to really be there and help and just like make sure, dude, you got this, man. You know, like, and it might not even have been in the aspect of like I'm helping you do like the stuff, but like he would, you know, but it was just in life in general, you know. And I'm curious if you ever had anything like that in your upbringing in the business.
You know, it's tough, man. I had this conversation with Kenny Brooks, actually, when he came on, because me and him, it sounded like I didn't understand. I didn't know a lot of his backstory before he came on either. And so we got to talking about our backstory. And it was very similar. Like, he was raised by a single mom. I was raised by a single mother. He was saying that his main motivation back when he was a child and started selling was he just needed new basketball shoes. And he's like, that's all he needed. That was like when he was 12 years old, and that's when he first got into sales. And then we talked to Javi, a guy from Wonderburger brought on, and he's Mexican, and he was saying that he didn't have anybody to look up to that was Mexican and successful like him, you know. And so like it was hard to him to look up to anybody and find anybody to be like, and so like he had to do a lot of that on his own. His grandma was he said his grandma was a motivator for him, and she helped him a lot. But kind of same with me, like I came from like probably a lower demographic, I would say, because my mom was single. She was a single mom raising 2 kids, so I didn't have I always looked up to my grandparents. None of them were really like business owners. I had an uncle that was a business owner, and so like it was cool to kind of see that. But like really, I think what inspired me to be a business owner, an entrepreneur, is really people. Like, so being a people person is huge. And like I was bounced around from school to school to school to school. Like when I was a kid, we moved a lot. And so what that made me do is it made me like adapt to different people constantly. And I had to learn like different personalities and make new friends. And I just became like a people person. And so I kind of carried that with me, like growing up, is like I always have known how to like talk to people and like I've generally took an interest in people. And then I got into sales, and then that's where I saw that like my unique personality I could excel in. So my background is really sales. So I didn't really have an individual per se that like pushed me into it, but like support from my family, my grandparents, my grandma, like they were all super supportive. Like never doubted you. You know, if you have someone in your corner that never doubts you, that can take you really far.
No, I completely agree with that too. That's what's really helped me personally. Like just having people around me that just don't doubt. You know, like obviously, but there is times I feel like where, you know, like even the people that don't doubt, you'll see a little bit of doubt, you know, and it's not really on them. It's just like sometimes you don't know, you know, so it's like, and then you start to doubt yourself, but it looks like, I mean, you got through those times because of those people, and that's super inspiring, you know?
Yeah, well, me and you had a really good conversation last night too, when we talked about like how much it takes to get a breakthrough. And we actually brought that up with Kenny Brooks too. Like I've known so many people that hit that wall and stopped, and it was the last wall before their breakthrough.
Yeah.
You know, and we talked about the tunnel with the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
But the problem is like there's no manual for this. There's no like timeline, so you don't know how long that tunnel is. But there will be a light at the end. But too many people give up before they get there. And I was one of those people for a long time. Like I started my first business when I was like 20.
Same.
And then I've done probably 4 or 5, maybe 6 businesses since then. And some of them could have probably really took off, but I gave up before I saw the results.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people do.
Gosh, it's awesome talking to you, because it's like I relate so much, and it's like, I mean, obviously you're a bit older, and it's like looking at myself, and it's like, dang, that's like what I'm doing, and it's like just it's inspiring, you know, and to see where you are now, and it's really inspiring. So
it's also funny because we were talking about, we were doing videos and stuff, and while I was going through college, he was still trying to get all his video stuff. He was working with Nick, and we were trying to figure out how to really merge it all together. So me and him, being a college student, him trying to get his video stuff on the ground, you know, we're boiling Mount Pleasant water, cloudy ass water.
We literally talked. So you said, what did you say earlier? He was like, he said, like, not the light at the end of the tunnel, but he was like, it was like, waiting for that breakthrough. And we always have said that.
Yeah.
Like
seriously.
We just need one break. We just need literally one break where we can really like just bounce on it, you know, and I feel like we just like, I feel like those have been coming because we've been working so hard, you know, and
Yeah.
So that's why, like, just so relatable. I mean, literally, like, we were both,
Have you seen that? Have you seen that Mount Pleasant water?
What are you talking about boiling Mount Pleasant water?
It's fucking Ghostbusters water. You look at it, it's Milky Way, so you gotta boil it right out to drink it. So we used to grab this big ass pot, boil it out, set it in the freezer. We're like, well, if we're thirsty, we got about 4 hours till it cools down. So
Are you serious?
we looked at each other. We looked at each other.
Is
And
it
we
from
said,
the dorms?
No.
No, that's why it was so hard because, like you said, he was going through his stuff and I was going through college, and the apartment's like $1,000 a month.
Oh yeah.
So it got to a point because I had a bunch of car issues and all that, this, that, and the third. And we're like, eventually it's like, dude, we're going check by check. So eventually, you fill the cup up of water and you look at it and you say, well, I'm not sure. You got a couple flakes, a couple Ebola. And
I mean, those are the times where you find a quarter in the drain and you say, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to reach my hand down there and grab it.
Oh, yeah.
You're so down bad. And the crazy part is that was like 3 months ago.
No, it was a little more.
It was a little more.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. It was actually
yesterday. Yeah.
But honestly, like, that's huge, though, and that's something that I think anybody can take away. Like 3 months ago, last week. So usually your breakthrough is when you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
When you're at that bottom of that pit, bro. That's when you're about to go up, because you can't go any further down, right? And like, I read a story, and I don't know how true it is because I didn't like fact check it, but I read that the CEO of Under Armour. This was pretty inspirational. He tried for so long. I don't know how long exactly, but to get his brand out there. And he was like a college football player, and he hated the shirts that went under his pads, and he just wanted to create something better that was like allows air through, keeps people cool, better material. So he did it all on his own. And I think he was down to like his last few $1,000s, and like the business was being shut down. Like,
oh shit!
And he went to he didn't know what to do, so he went to Vegas. He's like, I'm gonna bet everything I have.
Oh my God.
To make this business, to make this business take off. And so he gets to Vegas and he loses all $3,000.
Oh my God.
And he's like, I'm done, man. This is it. Like, I guess it's over. And
that's some shit I would do.
Yeah. And he gets home and there's a $40,000 check waiting for him on his very first order for Under Armour. And he said that it just blew. He was ready to go there and just shut everything down.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
What an emotion flip.
I know. So,
dude, like he was probably like.
Yeah, he was, dude. He was like,
there's some thoughts there.
Hands in the head on the plane.
Yeah, that.
That's
your. You might be thinking of some. I mean, awful things.
Hannah Baker,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, my God, that's a crazy story. I've never heard that.
Yeah, so I was super inspired by that because so many times I would have gave up before it even got to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Until I got to that place. But that's the place you need to be in to really make things take off. And like, a lot of people, that's a common saying that like everybody sees the iceberg, but they don't see what's underwater.
Yeah.
Everybody sees the top, but they don't see everything you go through to get there.
Well, and it's like just going off of, like the social media thing. I feel like that's like a lot of people, like say with YouTubers and stuff, they see like how much clout these people get, but they don't see the work that these people put in at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's like, even like talking the highest of business, I mean, you don't know what these people had to go through to get to where they are. I mean, yeah, some people are like, grass fed and just easy for them because, I mean, some people are built with money,
right?
And it's the people that really actually say that, like, dude, I came up from a hard place and, I made it myself. And I relate with you a lot with the single mom too. Like I grew up with a single mom, and it's crazy. Yeah, and Devin too. Yeah, I mean, all of us. I mean, so it's just
that's a common trend I see with all successful entrepreneurs. Dude, I went to, and here's the cool thing is like you talked about this too, because I feel like me and you, like you said, you look at me and I look at you and I'm like inspired by you, because if I had the mindset that you have at 24 or how old you are, 23,
yep.
Like I would be bounds and leaps ahead of where I'm at now, because I didn't have that mindset. I didn't have anybody to show me that mindset. Like I gave up a lot, and if I would have just stuck with things, I would have been 10 years ahead.
I just looked at Devin because you said give up a lot, and I just think about the past year, dude. I think I've had, it's got to be 12 jobs.
Oh, really?
Different jobs.
Yeah,
dude. Because the thing is, if I don't like it, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
It's just no point. Like, for me, it's the thought process of what's the point of kind of living.
Some of them, if you didn't like it, you wouldn't do it. But some of them were not by choice.
What do you mean? Like dumb?
You might have liked
Hey,
it.
you worked with my dad?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, that's...
Hey, that was a learning experience.
Oh, dude, the first 5 minutes that I worked with his dad,
Yeah.
I jumped this fence, and I literally had this fence rod go up and through my hand, and I pulled it out. And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure how this is going to happen, but let's finish the work day.
There's
Are you serious?
There's some odd shit that happened with my dad.
I was like, I need a tetanus shot
It
at
would-
the end of the day, though.
It would be me, literally. It'd be me watching Devin and my dad interact, and I would just cry laughing at every interaction they
Like
had.
Dumb and Dumber.
It was like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
And it was like, but you're not really the dumb one.
No, but the conversation was nowhere near intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually lost out on a lot if you listened. It was better that you just didn't, you know?
we were like pulling wire with him, and like this was last year. Or no, this was like 2 years ago.
2
now.
years ago.
Yeah,
2
2
years
years
ago.
ago now. And we were pulling wire with him, and we were working with him 2 days. 2 fucking days.
But this was a full days of work, this wire.
Full
Yeah.
days worth of work. We fuck it up, and he goes, bring it back. And this was like a stretch of like at least almost a mile.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Mile of wire.
dude, it was
And-
because it was up in the.
And I had to climb a fucking tree to get this wire over. So I fucking climbed to the top, and I'm just balancing on it like this, and it's swinging with the wind. And it's like, trying to pull it back. It's like, what do you mean we did it wrong?
And bring it back, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
Leaves for the day. We were working for him for 2 days.
Yeah.
Said I'll never do it again.
Yeah.
Never do it again.
Never again.
I lasted longer than that.
Yeah.
I was
Well.
like there like 2 months. So, but I found out real quick that I was afraid of heights, and I'm not supposed to be off the ground. So, like when I found out on that, because like we were doing disconnects and stuff. So
Yeah.
I had to climb these power poles on ladders, and like I get up there, and it's one thing climbing a ladder and getting onto a roof or a platform, but you're doing all your work from a ladder, and that thing's
Yes.
just swaying and rocking, bro. And I'm like, it took me, dude. Your cousin Josh messaged me. He's like, bro, where you at, bro? He's like, you had like 6 jobs, and I was still on the first job. It took me like a half an hour to get the courage to climb this ladder and just hang on and try to do this
I think
disconnect.
that's when my dad was making money though. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure,
and it was super. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, and these were like what 30 feet, 20, 30. Like they were super tall ladders. And one time he sent me to this area. It was like super ghetto, bro. Like we were in.
Yeah.
That's I see. Like that's where all the disconnects were. So all the disconnects were in like areas that were like not doing very well. So I go out, bro. I go out and I'm in like, I'll just say it, I'm in like Saginaw, dude. And like I have no off the beaten path. And I get up there and I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, like no one's around me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, I got this. So I took off the ladder and I climbed up there, and then I'm like just like hanging on like frozen. And then I look, and like a group of people come out on their porch and just stare at me.
Oh, no.
Like I'm disconnecting their cable, bro. And like
Oh,
they're just mean mugging me.
fuck.
I'm like, do I finish this job? Like, what do I do, man? Like, so I climbed up there and I disconnected it, and I'm wearing a camo hat, like probably a cutoff that's camo, and like,
Yeah.
look super hillbilly, bro, because I went to Bullet Creek, so I was. So I get up there, bro, and I disconnected and I get the ladder down, and like, I didn't know what to, bro. It was a dead end road, and I didn't know if I should like turn around in their driveway. Like, I was just freaking out, bro. And I think that was my last job. I'm like, I'm not risking my life for this, bro.
No, that's hilarious because we were in Detroit for the job. So the
Yeah.
first day that hand thing happened, I'm in the backyard. We're throwing the ladder across. He's hopping fences with he just had surgery on his
just had
meniscus.
ACL,
I mean,
ACL
Are you serious?
surgery. Yeah, right here.
days ago.
Yeah, days. It was
Yeah.
like literally not days. It was
a couple
it was
weeks.
like 2 months.
Was it
But-
really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's still pretty serious.
But
for
2 months,
ACL.
2 months
Yeah. On
ACL,
ACL, yeah.
jumping
Yeah.
fences. Dude, I was going into my physical
Yeah.
therapist, and they're like, what have you been doing? Your knee's swollen as fuck. And I said, nothing.
What were you jumping fences for?
Just going house to house. We grab the ladder, we throw it over. But one time he threw it over. It was just me and his dad, and I was putting the ladder up. And I heard the gate open in the back of the house, this big pit. And I was just, you know
Are
what I'm
you
saying?
kidding me, bro?
I barrel roll the fence, and Dub's over there. He's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? His little laugh.
Yeah.
Because he's
Look.
a specimen sometimes. Fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, damn, dude, this dude was coming for blood. This dog was not playing. I said, I don't.
That was in 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hand obliterated. Dog. Oh, and then there was this dude who threw this spike thing. Like, I was standing right there talking to his dad. He threw this thing over and it swung back and it literally impaled into my arm. So it was like,
Are you kidding me, bro?
pulled it out. I was like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? This dude doesn't know his left from right. So, like,
He didn't know his left from right.
yeah, there's
dude.
not much you can say or do about it.
There's
but-
some stuff. I mean, you might have to rethink your whole life. After you
Yeah.
look at it. It's just, oh no, please. We don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah, right, bro.
You know, like,
Wow.
Well, we
there's
didn't.
just-
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
We didn't work anymore.
Yeah, we said,
That's the thing.
No more.
That's
Yeah, this is
just-
a lot safer. What you
Yeah.
guys are doing now, yeah.
Yeah, right? I'm not swinging. Because you're right. When you like take the stuff off the hook up there, that it swings the ladder
Yeah.
back and forth. It's
Yeah.
like, is it worth these people having cable for my back
I
to
know.
meet grass? Like,
No, bro.
And you know how you fucking get up there.
I know, right?
Oh,
Your dad's hardcore.
Yeah, he is. He'll no ratchet straps or anything.
Yeah.
He'll just fucking go right up there. You're like, dude, how? Like, how do you do that? You know? He's like, hope you're not afraid of heights, bud.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was embarrassing to have to tell him. I'm like, I can't do it anymore, man. I can't climb that ladder like that. And hey, Josh could do it though.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Josh is like, he's good.
I can get up there pretty
You can?
easily. Yeah.
And work
Well,
from it?
I think the funniest part about it is the first look he gave to Devin. He said, "I'm gonna call you Yuri." Didn't even like.
Yeah.
Just
He
by
said
his
some
looks?
He said.
He did.
Yeah.
Just by his looks.
Yeah. He said you look like a foreigner. I'm gonna call you Yuri. We said, what the fuck?
they said, well, let's go do labor work.
Let's go do labor work.
All right.
Let's get
take
after it.
Do you still do that? Did you still do that stuff? Or how long did you last?
Oh, dude, two days. He
Oh,
asked me
really?
every week.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
He asked me every fucking week.
I'm surprised, man. But it's your dad's business, you know.
Yeah, I want the best for him, you know.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you
Yeah.
know, like I got my own stuff going on, and I think he gets that, and you know, like it's weird because my family just always like, I feel like they weren't like super supportive of what, and like, but the thing is, it's understandable because it's such a like
Yeah.
weird
It's
thing.
abstract, yeah.
It's definitely abstract,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. So, and I've always had a problem with it, and then I just kind of like, you know, like saw it from their point of view, and I was like, you know what, like, and I'm sure you got that with food truck.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm sure you got
Yeah.
that. There had to been people like doubting you.
Yeah, well, especially at first, because like when I started my barbecue food truck.
Oh, you had a barbecue food
Yeah,
truck before?
yeah, I had it for 2 years.
I
And
think
bar-
did you say that already?
said
yeah.
that.
But I'll go expand. I said the Roadhogs barbecue. So yeah, we had a barbecue food
It
truck.
was probably when the camera died, and I
Yeah.
was just like, I was so
Frazzled.
focused on. Yeah, I'm not kidding. But go on.
No, yeah, but I was saying like when I started that was like 10 years ago. Like when that was like 2017, 2016, maybe 2015. 2015, 2016. So like 10 years ago, before food trucks were even like as popular as they are
Yeah.
now. Like now they blow up and everybody wants to support a food truck, and like food trucks are great ideas. But back then, like Joe, my business partner, he had one, and he was like one of the first. He might have been the first food truck in Mount Pleasant. So like,
Oh,
we
really?
were like the second or third, yeah. So like, it wasn't a big deal at all. Like nobody knew what they were getting into. But then we, you know, and it's a lot easier now than it used to be because like all the resources, like we're trying to put out a bunch of resources with our group, with the podcast, but everybody's done. Like there's a lot of people that have been successful in it, and so you get a lot of good information. Back then, like nobody was really doing it, especially in Michigan. Like West Coast, yeah, you know, that started probably 10 years before, but like nothing hit in Michigan yet.
You see a lot of Midland too.
Huh?
You see a lot of Midland too.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Like you got the
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, that one bar. I want to try that barbecue place.
I haven't seen that one though.
You
I've
haven't?
seen it, but I haven't tried it. I don't
think
even know
It
those
only
guys.
sits at the BP.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it only-
We're gonna be
sit-
there actually this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw
I'll
You're
hook
there
you up.
tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm picking
Come
one
try
up.
it out.
I'm picking one up, bro.
Dude, the Takis on that.
Yeah, I know it's good.
When I first looked at it, I was like, man, the last time we had it was like, I'm not sure. And I was like, man, that's
Yeah.
a huge difference.
Yeah.
I told you, bro. I'm trying to get
yeah.
people think it's weird, but it works.
No,
It
it's
was,
serious.
dude.
It seriously is like.
I'll probably go take some pictures tomorrow
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, do it. Takis
throw 'em,
on
dude.
top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did a little video of it that one time.
Yeah. We made a food review.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, a while back, right? I haven't
Yeah.
seen that yet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good,
I heard you gave me like a 7.
dude.
I forgot I told you that.
Yeah, you did.
Listen,
I didn't forget that.
I've had it before, but
Yeah.
this one,
Yeah.
This one wasn't it.
This one
wasn't it.
And that's what I asked you. I asked him that. I said, is it the one? I was like, maybe that's
I
your
liked it.
preference.
I fucking
but
liked
like
it.
that we have different like so in our business there's a lot of turnover. So you have to train a lot of people to cook, and some people don't pick up on it very well. To be
But
honest.
I feel like 7 is still a pretty he was
above
telling
average.
Me,
I'll take it. You know?
Well, not even above that. Like I feel like
yeah.
7. I mean, you're comparing it to like he was comparing it like.
Well, no, for me it was a picky thing because I like a lot of sauce on it.
Yeah,
Right? So like
and they weren't doing that.
No.
Yeah,
Even-
you gotta try a new one, man.
Yeah, no,
Like-
I've had it before.
Oh, okay.
Great, but this one just barely had any sauce. There was 2 of them that barely had any sauce. In it.
I had a good one.
So
I don't
think-
know.
Yeah,
I love the
yours
wraps.
was loaded.
Huh?
You
Yeah,
had a
mine was
loaded- you had
loaded.
a
Mine was
loaded one.
fucking loaded. Yeah.
Yeah,
mine was
but-
loaded.
It was based off just that one.
Well,
okay?
you should update your review and like try it out Wednesday. I'll make sure you guys got the guy. Like our veterans will be there Wednesday.
No,
so.
we said we were gonna do that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we had a funny intro
you?
for it when we were going around for it.
Oh,
So I
we
said,
did too.
So I said, let's just because we talked about it. He's like,
Yeah.
Well, also
oh, was it a 7? I was like, well, it's just me being picky because I'm
Yeah.
a big sauce guy, you know.
Yeah.
So
Also, I will say I actually fucked up the video.
Did you?
Yeah, like I fucked up in the sense of like the color. Like we were still working with that new camera, and I wasn't sure on how to like do colors on it yet. And I figured it out now, obviously, but it's
we
like
can scrap that one.
yeah.
yeah,
Scrap that
we
7.
could do another one.
Huh? Yeah, I would love to do.
But
another
I
one,
love
shit.
honest reviews because like you only get better through like that's any business, bro. Like if I'm only asking you to tell me positive things, I'm never gonna get better.
No,
And it's,
facts.
You know, it's gonna be false.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like. But I love the Takis on it. Like I was telling you, if you walk into a celebrity and celebrity's like, get me one of those, like you Blake Corum or Jameer Gibbs, and like you say, get me a wrap, dude. My go-to is always the steak with like sriracha on it. Like to me, like
That
the sriracha
sounds-
takes
yeah.
it
Oh,
to
dude.
the next level.
I was gonna tell him that they put sriracha. I didn't.
You gotta
know
ask
that.
for it.
No,
yeah.
that was the only thing about it is that I put the chips on it and stuff. So
Yeah.
This
it's like,
motherfucker
if the-
likes heat
He
too.
does.
He
Yeah.
Oh,
loves
you gotta
heat.
get the
Yeah.
So
sauce
if like
on there,
if there was
yeah.
like more sauce on it, it would have
Yeah.
laid out the balance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there's
you gotta
sauce
do
on
it, bro.
I'm telling you, you know.
I'll make sure they're ready for you when you come in.
cut it out. Cut that part out.
Okay, it was actually a funny ass video too. Like his dad walked in for probably like half an hour and talked to us while we were eating
In the
it.
middle
We're
of
just
the
like,
video.
all right, we're filming something, but you know,
Yeah.
And then but yeah, we did like the whole intro. I thought the intro was really funny and.
No, we got to keep that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we might just keep the intro
Okay.
of that
Yeah,
and
that's
just
cool, bro.
bring other ones home.
I gotta see it. I can't wait to see
Yeah,
it.
and honestly, what we were talking about, like the whole TikTok thing going across the line, we did that too. So I think that'd be a really cool if we kind of put that together, just
What?
show what it could, how he went across when he was making it and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know
you
it
did
looked
that?
different. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't even hear about this.
We
Did
did a
my guys
lot.
just like let you in to do this?
yeah,
Or-
yeah. I
Really?
texted you about it.
with the food review?
Yeah,
No, I don't remember that, bro.
yeah. I hit you.
Oh,
up
it
on-
was that long. Okay, I probably forgot.
It was a month ago.
Yeah. Okay.
No, it was longer than that.
It was
No.
longer than that.
It was.
way.
I bet it was like
I left
March.
damn near a month ago.
I bet it was March or April.
It was when we first like moved in, dude. It was a couple months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. You're right.
Yeah.
I remember talking because when you popped
Well-
back up, I was like, "Oh, I've had conversations with this guy."
Yeah.
like I forgot all about it. Yeah,
And then we called and you're like,
Yeah.
"Is this Wes?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, this is Wes."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Dude, I fucking babysat you." And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh shit! No way.
I did, bro. You were a terrorizer.
Was I actually?
I don't know. I think you were calm. I think Z was nuts.
Oh.
yeah. He was like, "Oh, he's high energy, bro."
Oh,
yeah.
fuck.
You were chill. You're like little, you know.
Is that kind of surprising to you, like hearing that? Because did Z seem like the crazy kid?
He was
to you?
like 8, and you were like 4, I think.
Oh shit! Okay.
And like, yeah, he was like high energy, bro.
I don't
like,
know. Probably at 4, you're still figuring out how
Yeah.
to put a square thing through a square hole. You know. So
yeah, exactly.
you were trying to figure out what existence was still. As he was still aware. You probably caught on about 10.
yeah,
I loved it. Your dad had a pool though, right? Your dad had an
did.
underground pool. Yeah, we loved it.
I
dude.
mean, we moved a lot in my life.
Yeah.
So
I think I
like,
can't remember. But it was in Midland. He had a pool,
Yeah.
and he drove an avalanche, and he let
Yeah,
me Josh
the
take
avalanche.
it. Yeah. And
That's a
It
classic.
got wild, bro.
How
Yeah.
long did it take you to learn to swim?
Oh, I mean, no, I actually do have a great story about that. There was one time I actually jumped into that pool. I was 1, and I jumped into the pool while everyone was upstairs, and I was baby paddling.
No way.
Yeah, swear to God.
You kept afloat.
Yeah, my mom
That's
told
impressive.
me. My mom told me that story, and she said, yeah, somehow you got out of your cradle, like crawled down the stairs and fucking.
There's
went in
no
the
way.
pool. Swear
Are
to
you
God.
serious?
Swear to God.
Well, you probably didn't.
Or
You didn't crawl out. You probably fucking bounced, and that explains a lot, you know.
And
Down the stairs.
I definitely think about this. My dad probably just didn't even put me in the cradle, and then I just fucking.
And you probably drowned a little bit, had a little oxygen loss in the brain, so the cells took time to, you know.
I heard they don't recover.
Right. It's not like electrolytes, you can't replenish.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised looking at my head now. So,
So in terms of your business, how impactful was it to have a business partner that put in the same as you? Like, to have somebody to grow together with, and how do you think it would have been different without that, if it was just put on you without somebody who was willing to put into the same idea that you had?
Yeah, so there's a lot of depth to that question because it can go a lot of ways, and that's why I think, like, when we started this business, we were starting it for extra money, like side money, put in our pocket, you know, take our families out to dinner, do whatever. Not a serious business. So knowing what we know now, expectations might have been a little bit different. But the fact that, because it's huge to have a partner. And back then it was too, because me and him are good at two separate things. He keeps me on this like straight and narrow path, and I'm like way out there abstract like you, bro. I'm like, let's hit up Kenny Brooks. Let's do a video. He's like, dude, no, there's no way. There's no way this guy from Detroit's gonna do this. There's no way. Like he doesn't believe in like I reach out to everybody. I don't care who they are. Like I'll try to talk to him, and I'll say, hey man, if there's an opportunity to work together, let's do it. And like that's how it's got me to where I'm at. And he's more like, I need to see this work. He's more like, he knows the books really well. Like what's our ROIs? He keeps things running and stuff like that. But if you can get really, I don't want to say down, but you can, it can become challenging when you have a business partner too, because you do always have to be on the same page. So if you get somebody that's not on the same page, you feel like you're pulling more weight than they are, or they feel like they're more pulling weight than you, then you can butt heads, And we're at the point now, like where we still at this point, because I was just having a conversation earlier. This is our 6th year. But it's really only our 3rd year full time. So our first year we had 12 events. Our second year we had 20 events. Our 3rd year we started going out. We were going out like 3 months because it was a COVID. So we went out like 3 months out of that year. Like not much, 3 months out of that year. And so really we've had 3 years to get this to be full time on this and to really grind this. But we also have to make twice as much money. So that's where things get challenging and tricky, because there's food truckers out there doing it alone. They don't have the name we have. They don't have the following we have. They're not making nearly as much money in gross, but they're bringing home as much as us or more maybe, because it's just one dude running it. So yeah, he's got a lot of work to do, and he may never grow to multiple units, and he may never be able to take himself off of a unit, and like we do, like we're able to take ourselves off. We got a crew. We got like 12 people working for us. They may never be able to do that, but they're seeing a lot of the rewards now. They're being able to put a lot more money in their pocket. So like, because the food truck industry, the restaurant industry in general, is really low profit margins. Like you're looking at, like I heard like restaurant industry is like 6 to 8% profit margins. That's it. Food trucks are like 12 to 20. Some are a little bit higher, especially if you're working alone. So like if you want to get into the nitty gritty of it, we had like our labor costs around 25%. So if you're working that by yourself and you're a food truck owner and you're out in the truck, you're pretty much saving 25% by doing it all yourself. And so like if a dude makes $100,000, he may only have to gross $200,000. We will have to gross like $700,000-800,000 to make the same kind of money, because you're splitting it, So those are things to think about. Like when you have those partnerships, you have to really understand and think like, if this does blow up, like I never had that thought, like because I just wasn't expecting it. But if this does blow up, what are our expectations? How much do I have to make for us both to make a living? And is all that feasible? And like, are we gonna all like be content with what each other's doing at that point?
Yeah.
Sometimes the roles will have to change, but as long as you guys are on the same page for everything. I usually highly, like in the food truck industry, I usually highly advise against partnerships, because I've seen too many go bad.
Yeah, so so actually, I like just bouncing off that a little bit with like just saying our relation to that. Obviously, me and Nick started this together. Devin, like he's like we're trying, He's just really busy, so it's like we also have our own ventures. It was. But also we have our own ventures with the podcast too. So we just but Nick and I started WN Visuals, sponsored by WN Visuals. This is W1N. But we started it, and actually it was, I guess I'm telling my own story here. I'm sorry,
I want to hear it. No, I want to hear it too.
But we started off, it was just me in October, and I was just going out and filming games and stuff. And I don't know, like I was like, I've always looked for someone because like Devin has been involved for sure. Like I just like there's that sense of like passion, you know, you get in like and that's what I was kind of looking for, you know, just like someone who's super passionate about it. Like he's passionate about podcasts. Like I can tell he's passionate about podcasts. It's fun. He's really good at it.
Time wasn't also permitting.
Yeah, time was also permitting.
Had so many
and he had school and
work.
Like work.
Yeah.
He had to do like a ton of stuff, and I was alone. You know, like I felt alone, but not really because you were also helping me out. But I meant in my like the job aspect that I wanted to go into because I know all my friends have different ventures.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to include all my friends, but it's like you also have to come to the conclusion that not everyone wants to do what you want to do. You know, like not everyone wants to do it.
Yeah.
And so that's when I hit that point. And when Nick came out and filmed with me, I went out to a couple games and he noticed that, you know, this looks pretty cool. And he just said, like, I was like, hey, you want to come out to a game? Sure. He came out to a Heritage game. He filmed with me, and he was like, this is pretty cool, but, like, I just have school and stuff, you know? And I was like, but I could tell. Like, you can tell a passionate person. You can tell when you look at someone and you're like, that guy looks just as passionate as I do. You know, like, he's got that, like, that feel, you know? I feel that way about Devin with the podcast, you know? But we just fucking dove. Like he said no, and then I said, hey, listen, bro, you do what you want to do. You know, like I'm not gonna push you to say yes because I've done that way too much in my life. Like pushing people into something that they don't want to do, like as in like with career choices, and because I just want everyone to be my close friend and like around me, you know, like all my close friends, I should say, and like I want them to keep being around me and doing what I do and like always involved. And so I just told him, you know what, like I'm not gonna do that anymore. You come out if you want to. I'm just gonna let it go and keep doing it myself. And if you want to join, because he has every aspect of me that I don't fucking have. Yeah. Like he's got the organization skills. I fucking can't organize. I can't do shit. Like I can film. I'm creative, and I'm good at making contacts. That's my, and I'm good at talking to people for the most part. You know, like based on the situation. But he hits me up in February, and he's like, or it was like January, like end of January, and he's just like, hey, do you wanna hop on? And I was like, or can I, like, I wanna, let's do this. Let's fucking do this. I said, let's do it. And I was a little bit hesitant at first. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you positive? Like, are you, like, you're all in? And he said, I'm all fucking in. Let's go. You know, like, let's rock it, dude, because I need you more than you think. I don't give a fuck, 50-50. You know, like, I'm not going to make it to where I need to make it unless I have you.
Yeah.
So you're going to hop on and you're going to get the same benefits as I do, and because I wouldn't be getting where I am without you. Yeah. And I'll never forget that, you know. Fucking bookmark this, save it, Nick, whatever you want to do. And it's the truth. Like, I totally feel that way. I don't based off of like what you were saying earlier about like splitting the profit margins and stuff, like I think that's worth it. Like for me at least, I feel like that's worth it in my mind because I wouldn't be making any money. You know, I'd be making way less without him. You know, I feel like so it's nice having someone on that is really passionate and is the opposite side of you, like you were saying, you know, and that's where I relate to you, you know. So it's like I like everything that I just heard. It's like, holy shit, it's inspiration. You know, it's really great to hear, and I'm glad you found someone that does that for you. You know what I mean?
But we do butt heads a lot.
Yeah, we do butt heads a lot. I mean, there's times where I just wanna smack him right in the face, and
being close to being done.
Yeah. I mean, we've been definitely close to being done. Already. I mean, that's probably not a good sign 4 months in, but it's like I wouldn't say even close to being done. I feel like it just like we'll talk. We'll like maybe you were, but I'll never want to be done. I always talk him back into it. Yeah. Hey, we're good, bro. You
fucking
like Huh?
You're stubborn ass.
Yeah, my stubborn ass.
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
had
fucking
to. You had to be
piece-
some stubborn. you
I'm
know?
a piece of shit sometimes, but the thing
Who
is,
isn't?
I'm accountable though. Like I hold, and I think Nick respects that, and also I let him know how much I appreciate him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I always make sure he knows how appreciated he is, and I feel like he respects that, and I think it's a respect between us that even when we do butt heads, it's like, okay, we both we'll respect each other enough to hold each other accountable.
I think the biggest decider, if you have a true friend, is, are you more worried about yourself and what you want to achieve, or are you more worried about the success of everything?
Yep.
Because easily, like, the biggest way to butt heads above everything else is when you start thinking about, like, your personal achievements other than what you can achieve together.
Ooh, that's good.
You know, when I've worked in groups consistently, I've noticed that, you know, the biggest motto is what happens tomorrow starts today. So if you're all on that same motto and you all have the same goal, you know, the success is going to come. You know, when you put your all into everything, you say you've had things fail, you've had things fall. But when it really worked and you put everything in and you didn't let those little things collapse, and then you had somebody else on the other end, and then, like you said, you have 12 under you, and you have them do the little things under you that you work so hard yourself to put in place, then there's only one goal at the end of the day, and everybody has a success because everybody's on the same page that, you know, a machine needs a couple working parts for it to run fully. You know, you need the oil, you need the gears, you need the belts. As soon as one of those falls, then the top of it falls as well. You know, it's kind of like a pyramid, like the base, the foundation, that's what you built. And then you stacked more upon that. And as long as you know, believe that's never ending, eventually that top goal, whatever you believe that is, everybody played a part into it, and everybody's successful, and nobody has to be greedy because everybody's happy with the same page that they were on.
And then you got this guy giving fucking
I know,
poetic
listen to this guy.
metaphors. Oh my God. I mean,
It's
that
really
was,
good.
you could put that in a book. Holy shit. I mean, God, I just felt like I went to heaven and back.
Well, that's the
That was
dream.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
It really is.
Yeah.
There's a popular quote that says, if you want to go far, or if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yep.
Yeah.
And really, that's what it's all about. I mean, if you want to do things fast and you don't have to bounce your ideas off someone else, you don't have to collaborate, you don't have to get somebody else's approval, then you can do whatever you want. But that can always put you in some predicaments you don't want to be in.
Yeah.
And so that's like Joe is my voice of reason when I just want to be way out there. And he brings me back down. And no, we get along really well. We butt heads. I mean, he's at the point where he's like, dude, I don't even tell you no anymore because some of my ideas are like throw it at the wall and see what sticks, and some of them do. And so if he would have said no, we wouldn't be where we were. But yeah, I mean, you're only as strong, you're only as good as your weakest team member, your weakest link. And so we have a great team underneath us too, and that's like we give all of our success, to our team and to working together. Like there's been no solo act that's taken us this far, So honestly, the more people you have around you, and Kenny talked about this too, Brooks, is that the more people you have around you supporting you, that's the more you're going to be able to get done and push through those times when you feel like giving up. Because now you got other people dependent on you. You got other people that believe in you. So going alone is a lot harder. So me and Joe have been
It's lonely road too.
Me and Joe have been in so many obscure, just like crazy predicament situations that we can laugh about. But I don't know if I would have got through it alone. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I mean, there's times like just running this business where we have like a food truck and like something breaks down. Like at one time we had this huge event and there was no way that we could cancel this. Like it would have been so detrimental to our business. And our vehicle broke down and what are we going to do? You can't find a vehicle in 24 hours. So we ended up renting a vehicle from a place like a retail center, and it had dude, I don't know how much trouble if I can get this or not, but it had like a hitch, like it had a hitch on it, like we're good to go, we can pull our trailers. Well, it had like a lock on that hitch. When we got back, we're like, what the heck, bro? They didn't give us a key. I don't know if you were supposed to tow it with it. And I was like, what are we gonna do? This is now we're at 2 a.m. trying to get everything ready to go. And he's like, I was like, bro, we got to cut it. I was like, we got to cut that lock, bro. And so he got out like a grinder and grinded off the lock on this retail van. And we hook up the trucks and we're like, okay, it's good. It can pull it. every time you went over a bump, like the max loadout alarm would go off. It was like, ee! Like the whole time. So our guys were driving it, dude. We still went. We did that event, but the whole way there, that max load alarm was going off. And then we like got it back and put another lock back on it, and like it was good to go. But it was one of those moments, dude, that we would have went insane.
I fucking tossed Tootie. Listen, not even eating after somebody. We're talking about fries. Something you pick out. I pick it up. Dude, my throat's on fire. I said, what in the fuck could this be? Peppermint fry? And I look under there. The most sloppy, soaked, fucking Santa stocking you've ever seen, just sitting there, a little gum pillow right on the fry, dude. And I'm literally saying,
a gum pillow? That's bad, bro.
and I was like, I look at this guy, and he's like, oh, yeah. It's like, what do you mean, oh, yeah? You just fucking forgot you added a topping like chili and cheese?
Oh, I was actually going to ask you that. Also, we just went on a little intermission because our camera heated up. Some technical difficulties with cameras today for some reason. But I did have a question for you. Would you ever eat gas station nachos?
Oh, man, that's tough. I don't think I ever have. I've never been in a situation where I've actually like thought about that.
Well, I might have to rethink my life decisions here because before I came here, I ate some gas station nachos.
Did you? Is that why you had to run to the bathroom?
No.
Uh-oh.
I took a pee in the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you trust the fart right now?
With some gas station nachos?
I think I would eat them. I don't know, man. It depends what they look like. Like I don't eat anything out of rotisserie in a gas station. Like that's been sitting there.
Oh, dude,
for like,
I love taquitos.
You love what?
Absolutely. Taquitos?
Oh yeah, no. I'm
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. I'll eat anything from the gas station.
I mean, you've ate fucking dairy products that sat on the counter overnight.
That is not true. Maybe once or twice.
No.
Once or twice, yeah, in the past couple weeks.
I have a friend who would eat pizza like 2 nights over.
Drake?
Like, no.
Who?
I don't think I can say the name. It starts with an R.
Ryan?
Yeah.
All right.
One of the Ryans. I have a lot of Ryans in my friend group for some reason, but every single one of them, or one of them, eats like pizza 2 days after he leaves it out.
No fridge.
No fridge.
Can't do that, bro.
No
How
fridge.
does he live?
That's...
I actually don't know.
Like, you know, we serve food, so we're Serve Safe certified, but like, it's like a 4-hour window.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
that's it.
for protein.
Yeah, anything, dairy, protein, any of it, 4 hours.
Now listen, if it was like 6 hours, I'd do it.
Yeah.
But like,
there's some leeway there.
Yeah.
But if it was you, right? He's talking about serving people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah.
Oh,
we,
yeah,
We, we
no, I
toss
wouldn't
ours out
serve-
after 2 hours, honestly. So
Really?
We hold food for 2 hours, and then like just because it's rice, like you lose quality super
Yeah.
quick. So
Dries
we
out.
toss ours like every 2 hours.
Oh, rice
Yeah.
in the fridge is the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Panda
Dude, people
Express.
freeze our food and reheat it. I don't know how.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
fuck.
So, for your business, what is the end goal for you, and what are the maybe the milestones you still have? So, you talked a lot about like these cheesecakes, the new additions. What else is the general idea you have for adding into your menu to create a variety? Draw in more audience, and just overall the end goal for what you want beyond a food truck, or is it going to stay within a food truck, multiple food trucks?
Yeah. So actually, that's a perfect question because it's a leeway from like our previous question was business partners, right? So I think the ultimate goal for us, and I would say probably a majority of restaurants, food trucks, is probably franchising, right?
Yep.
Like that's kind of the goal that we want to head towards. A lot of people don't know this, but we actually have already submitted a contract to open in Florida. So we're supposed to be opening a truck in Florida next year. So we'll see how that goes. But then all this requires trust. With a business partner, with a franchise, you really got to trust the people you're putting in place to run your business and to be the face for your brand. And so we kept bouncing back and forth on what that looks like for us. And I actually made it kind of far in the Chick-fil-A model. I almost opened Chick-fil-A. I tried to do that. Like,
I have a question.
I got
Why the fuck don't they put the one in Midland? I mean,
there's one in Saginaw now. So finally there's going to be one open in Saginaw.
When?
I don't know if it opened yet, but it's already broken ground. Like, it's almost there. Yeah,
okay.
So Saginaw
Sorry,
was
I cut
where
you
I
off.
applied. Huh?
sorry I cut you off.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, so like, and they have to have a certain demographic. Like, they have to have so many people for their population for the franchise. But they have a really good model. So what's cool about their model is it's like a hybrid model. So like when you go through this process, what I've learned is they own all the property. They own the brand, they own the building. They actually hire your upper management. So when you come in as like an owner, you're really just a manager. And then they also expect you to be on site, 40 hours, 60 hours, whatever it takes to make that successful. And those owners only make a percentage of the profit, and it's only like 10%. So you come in as a franchise owner, you're getting 10% of the profit. You don't have a whole lot. You have some control, but you don't have a whole lot of control. But it's successful because they still own their brand and they still make sure that integrity is there and the brand is being ran right. But it also gives them kind of like incentives, the franchise owner. So like I guess the average, what I've read is that the average Chick-fil-A does $2.5 million in revenue. So the average franchisee is making about $250,000, which is still really good compared to any other restaurant. I don't know if you notice this, but if someone owns a restaurant like a McDonald's or a Wendy's or a fast food restaurant, they usually own multiple.
Yeah.
I actually had a business partner that owned 22 Jimmy John's.
Oh my
Wow.
And another, that's one thing I was going to bring up later is like some of the business people that I've ran into that I partnered with on another venture. That's another venture that we did as an app. But they do that because profit margins are so slim, like I spoke about. And so it's hard to make a living off of one. And so you keep opening more and more and more. And so so that's the Chick-fil-A model. They actually don't allow you usually to own more than one or two. But $250,000 is more than most owners will make from one restaurant. So because say a restaurant like especially quick casual, fast casual, they're usually bringing in like $1 million, just over $1 million in gross, and then you're running at less than 10%. So a lot of times they're not even making $100,000 per store. So those are things you got to think too. Even food truck owners, when you think about opening a business, you may hear these astronomical numbers from all these different food trucks, but it really comes down to the bottom dollar. Like, what are you keeping? And most food truck. Not most. I would say a lot of, especially most new people, but a lot of trucks in general don't have that figured out. Because I've asked a lot of people like, what are your margins? They don't really know. They know what their food costs are. They know that like how much they're making, but they don't know like the extra stuff, like the fuel, the insurance, the storage, the marketing. They don't have a marketing budget. They don't have all that figured out. And that's one thing you have to be good at.
Well, that's what we talked about yesterday too.
Yeah.
Is like how much you're taking home, right?
Yeah.
Like, not like taking home, but you know what I mean. Like we literally said like how much investment we put into our companies. Like we put fucking 80.
Yeah, I'm still up there. Yeah.
Yeah, like you said 80% or whatever.
Yeah, it probably is 80%.
Yeah, and we're like we made like basically practically nothing too.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, because we're just investing it all because we want people to reap the benefits of our company because that's why you start one, like because you want people to be happy, and obviously you want to be happy too and you want to make money, but like, I mean, we start businesses because we want to make people happy.
Yeah, I agree.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
and to finish answering your question, like the end all be all would be like franchising and becoming a national brand. And I think I would want to go with that hybrid model where we still own everything. So if someone's like tarnishing our name, not doing things right, we can pull it back. Yeah. So that's kind of like what we're thinking is that we want to own it. We give them profit sharing. They become a franchise owner manager. And then so I think our first real test at that could be Florida next year, spring of next year. And so that's our goal is become that national brand.
Absolutely.
And that has multiple trucks, and that's kind of always been our end game. Like we just talked about investing back into your business, and we kind of touched on it earlier. Some people want to get in this business and they love the work and they want to be on their truck and they want to reap all the benefits right now. But my goal and my business partner's goal align. We want to be like, we're sacrificing a lot for the first 5, maybe 10 years. But after that 10 years, then we're still making livable salaries that we enjoy. We have the flexibility to do whatever we want, the freedom to spend time with our families. We have that type of thing going for us because we sacrificed so much in the beginning. Yep. So at some point in time to be a successful business owner, you're sacrificing. And you got to pick if you're going to sacrifice now or you're going to sacrifice tomorrow because you can't do both. So you either got to sacrifice now and have a better life tomorrow or you got to sacrifice later on. So like these dudes that work in their trucks, and they're afraid to expand, they're afraid to trust people, they don't want to grow, they're going to be working their trucks for 20, 30 years or they're not going to have an income because they never took that step. So you have to decide what you want to do. And we decided that we want to play the long role, the long-term game, and reap those benefits later on when things really matter, So then like we can pull real salaries and we can still just manage the brand. So that's our end game.
So talking about sacrifice, so for somebody who's wanting to start a business and really blow it up, what have you learned that sacrifice truly means from 20 years ago when you were starting a business and sacrifice maybe meant sacrificing what you really dreamt to now where sacrifice means creating a franchise? You know, what is the meaning of sacrifice really mean to you, and how it's developed to you to accomplish everything you've wanted?
I mean, we've sacrificed pretty much everything you can sacrifice to be, because like my business partner still works full time. So he still works full time. We both have families. I have like 4 kids. He has 1, and we're married, you know. So we're sacrificing away from our families. We talked about, you know, we all came from like single parent households. That's something I never wanted my kids to go through.
Yep.
So like I want to be there for them. I try to be there as much as possible. Try to do coaching, things like that. So like I took all that into consideration when we did this. Is like what's going to make my future not only better for me but better for them. And so you sacrifice time now. Like yeah, I could be going out, you know, like hanging out with my kids and like fishing and like doing all the like stuff that they want to do, but instead I'm here, or instead I'm like what if you want to talk about individually and personally, like I'm on my phone all the time. That's kind of a downfall for me. That's sacrificing attention and focus away from those people that are important to me. But I have to, because I do manage the socials, I do manage the bookings, I manage payroll, I manage like scheduling, I do all that. So I'm constantly on my phone. So I might not be here like 10 hours a day, but I'm constantly working. And so like you're sacrificing that time. You're sacrificing money. You're sacrificing money by reinvesting. Right, by reinvesting. So we pay ourselves a little bit, a minimum, like monthly. We pay ourselves some profit at the end of the month, but we could be paying ourselves a lot more. But we want to reinvest in our brand. Everything that you see that we have has been paid off. Like we paid it with cash. So that's because like in the beginning you don't start off with a lot of credit, so you have to build that money up. So we have a unit down there, like an $80,000 unit. Paid cash. You have $60,000 unit, paid cash. So that's the sacrifice. At the end of the year, you have a lump sum of money, and you say, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to put it in my pocket, or am I going to sacrifice it to the business and grow the business? And that's what we've had to do for the last 4 or 5 years. Mm-hmm. We bought new units, and we just had a truck break down. So we have to buy new hauling units. So at the end of the year, you got to decide, do you want to reinvest in yourself, or do you want to, put the money in your pocket? So that's what sacrifice is about. You got to put the business before yourself. Yep. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And do you feel that you felt that way from the start, or is that something you developed over trial and error?
100% developed. Like I said, I quit so many other businesses. Like if I got to the point where I'm like, this is taking too much time, I'm not seeing any benefit, and I can sell the equipment for what I have into it, and like things like that. I usually do. That's what I did. I never really lost on a business, but I never really made anything because I never dedicated my time to it. And you see a lot of guys. Like there's a guy right now that he's going to be on our podcast next week or later this week, and he opened up a food truck a year ago, is killing it. Now he's opened up a restaurant, and he pretty much does everything by himself. Oh, wow. And he has a kid, and he has a wife. So, like, there are people that can go all in right away and be successful. It's just not from my experience, what I've seen.
Would you ever want to turn your food truck into a restaurant?
I try to steer people away from restaurants, but, like, I'm not going to say no. Like, maybe part of that franchise model could be, like a drive-through or something but it should never. But the problem is, like, the reason I see food trucks as such a good model is because you go to where people are. If you're in a bad location in a restaurant, you're stuck. If it's just so, and my business partners had bad experience with restaurants. Everybody, like I've known at least 4 trucks in the last 2 or 3 years that started restaurants, and they aren't doing well, or they're already done. Because that's the thing, is that you get used to that food truck money, and then you get to the point where now your food truck has to support your restaurant, and now you're taking away from your brand, your business, your company, and now like they're struggling, And so I don't want to be in that predicament. I'm not saying restaurants can't be successful, but it definitely takes the right recipe. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying I have the best experience with that. And from what I've heard is, once that starts dying down, it's hard to bring back. And like you can't bring it to a 12,000 person crowd or 40. We've done events with 400,000 people. Like you don't have that kind of reach with a restaurant,
Absolutely.
So
yeah. Yeah, I think it looks like we're kind of running low on time here, so are you good with wrapping it up here?
Yeah, like no, I appreciate you guys, and I like you hearing your backstory, and I like to learn more about you guys too, and I think that's part of everything is when you go into business, it should be all about people and collaborations, and getting to know the people that you're working with. And that's kind of always been my philosophy, and it's kind of burnt me in the end of it, is that like me and you, like you talked about giving, and you have to keep giving until you get back.
Yep.
And sometimes you do that and you never get anything back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you can't let collaborations die because somebody else didn't return the favor.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. So no, I appreciate this whole thing you guys are doing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're doing the same for us. So
Yeah.
it's awesome. I think, dude, this is I mean, we look back at, you know, like we were talking about earlier, 3 months now from now or before, and we're just like, holy fuck. Like,
Yeah.
me and Nick are sitting here, like, we're getting deals, and, you know, like, Devin and I, like, we always want to start a podcast, and, you know, like, you're giving us the opportunity. You
Yeah.
know, like, and we couldn't be any more grateful. And I think that, like, whatever we're doing, like, we're all in with you too. You know, like, we want to help you just like you want to help us. And that's where like, even though we're not partners, we're partners. Yeah. Right. Like, it's kind of like that type of deal. Yeah. You know, that's what I truly think.
Not everything
trading partners.
Not everything needs direct incentive.
Yes.
You know, there's a difference between, you know, contract incentive and being a fucking human.
Yeah.
And saying, okay, you know, let's accomplish something.
Help the
together.
people that help you.
Right. Let's accomplish something together. Let's help each other grow. Let's help each other reach. And, you know, that's all it really is.
Yep, absolutely.
But, you know, to really finish on that, these fuckers right here, mint.
Yep.
I'm telling you, I could eat 10 of these bitches.
These cheesecakes are fire.
But we're gonna
their burritos are fire too.
We're gonna do that too. So in a different thing, we'll
Yeah.
do these, and then we'll do the burritos.
Yep.
And then we'll post that review. But
Yeah.
I appreciate you for giving us this area to allow us to do this. And honestly, that was a fantastic conversation.
This has got to be my favorite one.
Yeah,
ever.
this is
cool,
awesome.
guys.
So, you know, we'll be back every week.
Yeah, we'll be back every
absolutely.
week. Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
awesome.
And shout out to Nom Nom Ninja again.
Right.
Like, thank you, Brandon, for everything that you've done for us, and we're excited to continue this.
Looking forward to the future, guys.
It's gonna be dope.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.